Hey, babes.
Hi.
All right,
Mic
you guys.
check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, 1, 2, 4,
7.
4. Anyway. All right. Welcome back to Would You Date You? This is episode 2. And we are coming at you live from Hakuna, Makava. My name is still, I can't believe I'm going to say it, Michael the Ribbit Burnauer. And I'm here with Brittany Tiny Lartategi. How are you tonight, babes?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
How was your day at work?
It was work. I don't want to talk about this. This is a fun space. No work talk in the fun space.
True.
Notice anything different about me today?
Did you get a haircut?
Yes.
It looks good.
Thank you.
Where'd you go?
Oh, you know where I went. I'll let you tell them where I went.
All right. So this is our shout out portion. This shout out goes out to our friend Lex with Aiken Kane. You can find him on Instagram at Where's Aiken Kane. He's got a mobile bartending service.
Barber service.
Sorry, Lex. A mobile barber service. He's been in the industry for about 20 years in the Lake Worth area. He had a shop for 21 years, I think is what he said earlier.
Yeah, I think he said 20 years. I know it's 20-something years.
Something like that. Located right off Dixie, and now he's just taking it mobile, and
it's awesome.
He gives great haircuts, such as on that handsome man across from me.
And I'll leave a quick note. He takes his time with your haircut.
And it's personal. It's really nice.
It's a very personal.
A super cuts vibe.
Not at all. I will not do super cuts.
And that AC was pumping in there.
It was freezing. It was cold. Cold
Super
haircut.
cold.
Not too cold, though. He'll adjust it if he needs you to. He's all about customer service here. Very important. So basically, this show is...
We're just going to skip over our shout out to Hakuna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The people that give us this beautiful space to create this podcast.
Hakuna, I apologize. Continue, please.
Like Mike said, this is coming to you live from Hakuna Makava. Like we've said before, if you are interested in Kava or Kratom, or you know anything about Kava or Kratom, Danielle and Blake create this beautiful space for us to come and be a community of, like-minded individuals and people that, can just grow and, be what a community is supposed to be. They're located at 1109 Old Okeechobee Road, which is down in the Warehouse District of West Palm Beach by Grandview Market, for those who know where that is. If not, you can find them on Google Maps or whatever service that you use. Apple Maps, Google Maps. I don't know anything about Apple products at all. But, yeah.
You can find them there, I'm sure.
Mention that if you are a new customer and you mention that you heard about Hakuna Makava from this podcast, they will give you 10% off your first bill and your first tea for free. We like free stuff.
It's always fun to promote that.
I like free stuff, so.
I mean, who doesn't? There's an old saying, if it's free, it's for me.
Free 99.
I mean, be careful, though. I don't know anything. That could be dangerous. So what's this show about, babe?
So today is just going to be a little bit of an update on our relationship. Maybe some things that happened over the week that, we've had to conquer, or things that we've realized, I don't know, just daily situations that come up in our relationship. We'll give you a little bit of an update on. Mm-hmm. Then we'll move into our segment on Brownie Points.
Brownie Points.
After a short yet funny story about that segment, because we're in different clothes.
Correct. I forget these things. I don't know. I don't think about the clothes thing being...
But that's the first thing people are going to notice.
They're
going to be like, wait a second, she's got makeup on now, and in the next one, I look like a homeless person.
Babe, this is why you're in charge of production.
You
Plain
just
and
show
simple.
up.
I gotta show up.
At least, hey,
Hey, I bring my thoughts.
your brain is wonderful and it's
Yeah.
greatly appreciated in every situation.
You're just better at that stuff. It's just the reality of it.
All right, so why don't you start with a little update over the week?
Yeah, over the week, it was a good week, I feel like. Not much changed between us. We had one moment where I was a little upset about the way Brittany reacted to me in a way. And so I brought it up to her, and I feel that's important in relationships to talk about things that upset you, and the person on the other end who you're dating should also be open to receiving those things. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes maybe some people talk and your partner maybe doesn't care or doesn't want to hear about it, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think you really need two-way conversation in a relationship.
Yeah, I definitely think that open communication is key because, if we didn't talk about it, we would have pushed it to the side and it probably would have came back up at a later date. And then
Right.
at that point, it's really irrelevant, but it's just used as like ammo later
Could be.
on.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? It's like something that comes up and like you'll probably hear me say like they're like bullets. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're
I
just
think you've said that
throwing
to
these
me.
things out that happened in the past that have no relative.
To, to the argument going on now,
Right.
to the situation. Yeah, they're just resentments.
And like I always thought it was cliche that people that give relationship advice always say like you never go to bed or you never go like want to go to bed angry at your partner or like sad or upset or with
Right.
them or anything. And like I used to kind of laugh at it and be like, okay, well like in the morning you can always just apologize then, but like now it makes more sense to me because you don't want to like go throughout the rest of the day feeling like you have to walk on eggshells around that person because you
No.
upset them earlier or you don't know if you upset them earlier.
Right.
So it just creates this like level of
Animosity.
and it's like resentment and like
Yeah.
you never want to resent your partner for anything.
No, and that I think open communication plays a huge role in that.
I feel like that's just going to be one of our main themes. Like, no matter what topic we talk about, I feel like it's always just going to come down to open communication.
Could be. That's really probably that probably is a key to a healthy relationship. But open
Compromise.
communication can be hard. It can be hard. It's challenging.
Yeah.
Not always, but it means you have to be vulnerable
And open-minded.
and open-minded. Yep. Very true.
Yeah. But anyways, so about the podcast situation.
That is going on. Yeah, she'll handle this part.
So a few weeks ago, before we posted our intro video, we actually recorded one episode called Brownie Points. Had this great conversation, went way better than we thought. It was just supposed to be a trial run for us, but we really liked the way the conversation went, so we were going to go ahead and use it. And when our lovely friend Blake got the file for us, he realized that the first 15 minutes of the episode were missing because it was recording when we were setting up, stopped recording when they hit start recording, then there was a blank screen. I guess I started recording again, so it picks up where I ask Mike what he thinks brownie points are and like what they mean to him and his kind of opinion on them, and we go from there. But really the only thing that was missed was our intro, which we gave you guys last week. So if you missed that or you want to know why we're just jumping into this conversation, you can kind of refer back to the intro video.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, we're good. No, we didn't know if that turned off. We keep going. No, we're good.
I think we're okay. So we're just going to keep talking in the meantime for a second, and if we have to back up, we will.
Yeah. We gotta like We back.
I'd rather do that.
But I think we're back. I think we are
I
good
don't
to
know how
go.
we tell if it's recording or not. Oh, it is. The timer's still going at the bottom.
Yeah, so
All right.
we're okay.
Anyways, so yeah,
Brownie points, what they were.
unspoken brownie points.
Yeah, we were
so I feel like half the time you don't even really know that you're even doing it.
Right.
And maybe even like in our situation, like it might be something that you do and I won't realize that you've acquired those brownie points until like later on when I think about it again.
Right.
Like sometimes it'll just feel like, okay, it's like not a big deal, but then when you go back and think about it, it's like, oh, that was actually really nice and like thoughtful and caring, or given whatever situation it was.
Right.
What do you consider to be like brownie points?
I think we're all right.
Or how would somebody achieve brownie points with you?
Oh, how would they achieve brownie points with me? That's a good question. I guess I would have to say the little things add up. I mean, it's you, for example. You'll come and pick me up, and next I'll drive the car, and I notice there's gas in the car. Just little gestures like that. I'm not a big person. Some people like to do these crazy, big, extravagant, events or all these kind of things, but I'm a very simple kind of guy. I don't really need a lot. Don't ask for a lot. You know that, obviously, probably more than anybody at this point in time. But I would say things like that. The cute text, the picture I got today. I won't give too many details on what it included, but ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed it. I will gladly like those more often. I don't know. It's an interesting question when you start thinking about it. How many things could actually be brownie points that you don't really realize? Even like the simplest things where you'll recognize I'm not in the greatest mood, and you know how to just kind of either give me my space or comfort me and things like that. So those go a long way with me, especially. And then I obviously will make this very clear. I love earning brownie points. This was kind of I feel like I kind of started this topic a little bit, not like taking credit for it, but
no, I feel like this is probably one of the very first conversations we had about like just kind of like starting to learn about each other, and like
that's true.
Seeing where each other kind of stood on. I think we were talking about like love languages, actually.
I think we were, yeah.
Which will probably be another topic in itself at some point, but we can definitely hit on that now, because I know that I had mentioned when we first started talking about the brownie points, like from a woman's perspective, it's nice to be shown how the other person cares for you and everything in a way that you enjoy.
Right.
Also, like some people don't like receiving gifts. Some people would rather have you do something that makes their life a little bit easier.
Right.
Like, today if I was off and you were at work, like I would have taken the car for an oil change, knowing that we had talked about it before. That way it's one less thing off your plate. It's a stress reliever and it gets done.
Yeah. Well, because that's definitely what relationships are. They're a give and take. It's a balance. It's not one side does everything and the other one, doesn't. At least not a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's definitely a lot of compromise.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of work, but I feel like it's worth it in the end. You know what I mean? Especially if it's like the right person and like you guys talk about these topics. Like another thing of why we're doing this podcast is to get you guys thinking about how you interact with your partner, maybe touch on topics and subjects that aren't necessarily the easiest to talk about. We just started dating actually, like, a few months now, but I feel like I've had, more deep conversations and about topics that I wouldn't necessarily talk to somebody about right in the beginning of a relationship, but I feel like it's already helped us grow closer than waiting to have those conversations.
Right.
So,
Or in my instance, there was something I was very nervous to open up to you about, and I held it in, and it caused me some anxiety and frustration. I'm not going to go into it now as far as what it was. I mean, I feel that's between us. A lot of those things will stay between us unless we feel like sharing them. But and on the opposite end, Tiny was very open to me about some of her things very early on. So I definitely feel that was the better thing to do. Is what you did was to be more open up front, because, like you said to me, it's get it out of the way. I mean, if the person really cares about you, even though they just met you and they feel something, then I would hope they wouldn't judge off of that and take time to get to know that person more, because our past are our past, and we obviously have no control over what we were or used to be, and
no, we only have control of who we are going forward.
right.
And
that's a choice. I feel like too many people think, you always hear that term, people don't change, and I couldn't think further from that. I feel if you want to change and do something, then, but it's on you.
I think that's a very big misconception, especially when it comes to dating. Is people can change, and I'm not saying that, if somebody cheats on you, that you should give them a second chance.
That's it, right.
There are different scenarios for everything, but just because a person was who they were in the past doesn't mean that they're the same person today. And I believe that everyone deserves that fair chance from a clean slate right off the bat. And like he said, I did share some pretty deep stuff with him. I think it was the second time we hung out, or third time or something.
It was very early on, yeah.
And I just kind of gave him this shortened version of my whole life story, and at the end of it I was just well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I totally understand if you never want to talk to me again, because I'm a hot fucking mess. Sorry for my language if anybody's offended by it.
Deal with it. Sorry, this is a adult friendly podcast.
But I couldn't be more happy at the fact that I shared that with you so early on, because you got to see
the real side of you.
The real side, and that is something in my past, and I would rather you see it now than invest 6 months, a year into my our relationship, and then it comes out, and then you're whoa, that's not okay, or then you start to judge me for it, or anything like that, and then the relationship ends after you put so much effort into it already.
Right.
And then it just creates a distance, It's why'd they keep it from me for so long? Why wouldn't you just say it earlier? But it just goes to show that sensitive topics go untalked about way more often than not, I'm sure.
Well, I could be in relationships. People do that a lot because they may be scared that it's gonna drive this person away that they like. But I feel like as a person, I kind of touched on that I had waited to tell you, and it's one of those things where if I cared about you, obviously I really liked you. We've only grown in our relationship, and what happens if you really start developing somebody, and like you said, you wait so long, and unfortunately that person can't accept what you've told them. So you've built these feelings up you've kind of almost set yourself up for heartbreak.
Yeah.
Not on purpose or intentionally or because you wanted that to happen, but that could be the reality, is they can't accept your reality.
And I think that's another reason why people wait so long sometimes, is because they're afraid of being judged, so they just let it go and let it go and let it go, because they're afraid that the other person is going to judge them and not want to be with them because of it. When in reality, it's actually, like you said, it's hindering your relationship in the long run, I feel like.
Yeah, you could put a big damper on it, for sure. Definitely got rolling there a little off topic, because we're still trying
It'll probably happen.
Brownie Points a lot. We ramble. We like it. But yeah, and I also, like I mentioned, I like earning brownie points because to me it shows you that I care, and I don't do them, and I think this is very important for guys to understand, and females obviously, is like you don't want to earn them with some end goal in mind. Like I'm doing this so I get, let's say, sex, or I'm doing this so she'll stay with me. I feel they should come from a place where you're actually doing them because you want to for that person, not to try to gain something from them or hell up them. Let's say.
And I also feel like things that you do to make up for something, like you don't gain brownie points for that. Like if you get into an argument and then
Right.
like say you apologize with flowers.
Right.
Like you're not really getting brownie points
No,
for the flowers. You're
absolutely
getting
not.
brownie points for the apology.
Right.
If it's done in the proper manner where, if you are in the wrong, you own up to being wrong.
Right.
So you're going to get more brownie points for the apology itself, not the act of giving flowers or chocolates or
Right.
jewelry or, because people think love can be bought. And like maybe for some people it can to an extent, but like I don't feel like that's real love then.
Well, for me, is that somebody I want to be with? I can buy their love. That's not what I'm looking for by any means, is to be able to buy somebody's love.
Right.
And I think that's kind of another important thing I feel like guys should understand is if you notice yourself only doing things, quote unquote, earning brownie points when your girlfriend or the girl you're dating is upset or hurt, you're going about it the wrong way, because you can elaborate this if you want to, but I feel like you're going about it the wrong way because you're only doing it to make up for some mistake or some action or behavior that made her feel upset or hurt or whatever the case is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just also follows up with what I was saying about, like if you make a mistake and then follow it up with just a gesture,
Right.
like there's no brownie points in that. Right.
Yeah. I feel like it's an empty gesture. It doesn't hold any weight with the person.
Well, I guess that would go into like my next question I have, which would be like your brownie point scale. Like, do guys have like, okay, that gesture earned her 5 brownie points versus like that gesture earns her like 2?
Like tiers of game. Like how good's your game, bro?
Essentially, yeah.
How good's your game? That's interesting. I've never thought about it that way.
Because they're all like minor things. Brownie points are supposed to be minor things, like we said. So like, is there a scale that you guys use, or like?
That's a good question. I've never really thought about it that way.
Or is it just like everything is just 1 brownie point?
No,
like
are
they all equally weighted?
I wouldn't think so, because that's interesting. We're gonna have to come back to that. I've got to think on that a little bit.
All right.
That's something I've never, me personally, I've never really thought about it that way.
Okay.
Obviously, there's times where like I want to do something big. I want to do, plan the picnic and I do picnics, guys. If you're not doing picnics, get on your picnic game.
Charcuterie boards.
Good Lord. Or Bikini Wednesdays.
Bikini Wednesdays.
I don't know, bikinis every day. Okay, not bikinis.
How do we go from picnics to Bikini Wednesdays?
You can picnic in a bikini. I mean, I'm gonna bring on my.
Are we
swim
picnicking
trunks.
on the beach? A picnic to me is like in a park.
Okay, you're right. It could be a beach park.
A beach park?
Yeah, like a combination. Do the beach and the park.
Or are we just wearing bathing suits
at
the park?
Don't try to get the bathing suit out right away. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. We don't want to chase the bathing suit too early. Don't want to set that tone.
What are you talking about? Our first date was at a beach, essentially.
Exactly.
I just didn't know we were on a date, and I don't think you did either.
No, a little bit.
Slight off topic backstory. We met at a different kava bar.
Yes, we did.
I found him attractive, did not think he was anywhere near interested in me whatsoever.
Vice versa. Very
But-
interesting how this played out. I mean, it was. Yeah, I just didn't think I was your type. I didn't, we had good conversation. We'd sit there and chat. But
Hysterically laugh a lot.
yeah, it's bad.
We'd be in tears a lot.
Cries.
Just about ridiculous shit.
Just what?
About ridiculous shit. Like, I don't even know what we were talking about half the time. Like, if someone asked me what we were laughing at, I probably wouldn't have been able to tell them.
Yeah. Well, but that to me said a lot, though. That was a big indication as far as
Chemistry.
how our chemistry was going to be
Yeah.
and what it was going to be like. And actually, I can't say I've had a relationship with this much laughter. I guess it's something that's actually somewhat new to me, and I'm not in a bad way. I obviously enjoy it and I love it. It's fun, but I cannot say I've ever laughed with another person like we do. We're getting way off topic.
Yeah,
But that's all right.
that's fine.
They
So we
need
met
to
at a
know.
kava bar.
Right.
Didn't think he liked me. He didn't think I liked him. I don't even remember how it came up, but he invited me to the beach on a day off. We went to the beach. I got a job where he worked, and then literally 2 days later, I never left your house.
Yeah, and it's been ever since.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. I mean, I feel with Tiny, she feels like home. There's just something about it. It just makes me feel like I can just be myself. And I think a lot of people in relationships which is actually a lesson kind of to learn, is like you never know who that person really is. I think a lot of people have this certain type that they're looking for, and that may limit people as far as who they could end up with.
Yeah. I
kinda have these
definitely
strict
agree. I feel
rules.
like sometimes people limit themselves to a certain standard, and like there's nothing wrong with going outside of your type or like
Right.
outside of your box, because you never know who the person is on the inside,
Yeah.
and it could be exactly what you're looking for.
Right.
But like sometimes people aesthetically don't give people a chance, which I mean it's superficial and it's a real thing, because I get it, looks do play a part. You want to be sexually attracted to your
Absolutely.
partner on the surface, as well as sexually attracted to who they are on the inside.
Yeah.
Not going to put our business out there, but we have chemistry inside and outside of the house.
Right.
You guys can take from that what you want.
Right. I'm gonna take from it what I want.
But yeah, so I mean, if you guys want to let us know what you think Brownie Points, like a scale of Brownie Points would be to you.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd be
Give us some
interested.
examples, or even tell us if that's something that you guys think of in your head, or if we're just the only weird ones who think like
Yeah,
that.
and you could even, list. You could, what are brownie points to you? Like, what are actions that, this person can do? And I think too with brownie points is if you do find a person you enjoy being with and in a relationship with, it's a good idea to talk about brownie points. Like, let your partner know what they do that makes you happy.
And like I said before, like learn their love language.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like my top 3 have nothing to do with receiving gifts
Right.
or even acts of service.
Yeah.
How you show me, like how I like to be shown that I'm cared about and thought of, is quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation.
Right.
So I would rather hear you or, read a letter or a text message telling me that you like appreciate me, or, whatever, a cute little note left on the bathroom mirror that says you're pretty, or things like that I would prefer, rather than waking up to a piece of jewelry or flowers
Yeah.
or whatever. And I mean, like I said, we've spent every day together for I mean, almost 3 months now.
Almost 3 months.
If you really think about it. And I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not sick of you. I miss you when we're not together.
I haven't contaminated her spaces.
All right, so the first time we hung out here at Hakuna, I told him when he said that he was going to bring his friends here that was fine, but they just couldn't contaminate my space. So now he likes to say that he doesn't contaminate my space, which is very accurate.
Which is good.
You make my space better, babe.
Oh, thanks, babe.
No contamination.
No contamination.
Yet.
As of yet, because you can always screw it up.
You can.
It's never too late, fellas.
You can. We'll probably talk about how you can do that too at a later date.
It's never too late to screw that up. And you had made a really good point I wanted to touch on, but now my brain is just blank. So I'll have to come back to that. I'll have to take some notes later.
Another thing is I feel like brownie points don't get earned if they ask you to do that like a certain thing. Or if they have to like ask or beg or like make hints at certain things and then you do it, like that's not really brownie points earned.
Right.
In my eyes. I mean, that person might see it as brownie points, but like we said before, I feel like brownie points have to be something genuine without any expectations or, you know, future thoughts on like what that brownie point or what that action is going to get you out of the relationship.
And I've heard so many, I mean, even from you alone, I've heard so many stories, I mean, from many females regarding guys would do all these really nice things in the beginning. They'd act a certain way, and then things would start falling off, and they would either kind of say, yeah, but I did this, or I did that, or you know, and kind of use them, I don't want to say against the person, but I don't know. Does that kind of make sense?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get what you mean. I don't know if they will. But
yeah, I don't know. If I sound dumb, just let me know. I'm okay with that. Correct me.
You can take it.
If I'm wrong.
We have tough skin. Constructive criticism is welcome.
Beautiful.
Let us know if you absolutely hate this podcast or if you absolutely love it. Yeah. Either way, we'd like to hear from you.
We'd like to hear.
We'll listen to it all.
Yeah, but you touched on that. I like how you said, you know, brownie points definitely are person-to-person based. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. I think it's very important. A lot of guys will probably roll their eyes at this and say, I don't even mean learn a love language. If you want to be better with women, you got to learn how to get to know how they operate and what, you know, makes them tick.
And I feel like it's nice to know your own love language.
That's true, too.
We'll link it below, but there is, I believe, at www.5lovelanguages.com, there's actually a quiz that you can take to learn what yours is. There's obviously 5. It's in the name. And then it'll tell you the percentage of, you know, the answer based on the answers that you pick. And it's just kind of cool because it is very accurate. You know, you might think that you like getting gifts, but when you really think about it and answer these questions, you might realize that quality time is actually your number one love language and how you prefer to receive love. And it makes it easier to tell your partner how you like to, you know, be shown that you're cared for.
Right. And what do you feel as far as when these brownie points are earned? We're going to say earn. I mean, they're earned.
Well, they're definitely earned. They're not just freely given out.
No, brownie points are not freely given out. They are definitely something that
I'm not Oprah. I'm not just going to be like, you get a brownie point, and that's another brownie point, and that's another one.
And if the girls that you're talking to is throwing her brownie points out to all kinds of guys, step away. That's all I'm saying. Exit.
Also, if you're doing all the brownie point earning,
correct,
and they're not earning any brownie points back, red flag.
Bye.
Not worth it.
No, absolutely not.
You need someone that's going to match your effort, and hopefully that effort from both parties is 100 to 110%.
Yeah, a relationship's definitely it's a team effort. You know, the person you're with, it shouldn't be. Obviously, every relationship has its ups and downs. You're going to have your great moments, your horrible moments and everything in between. But I feel like they're. Damn it. I lost my train of thought there a little bit.
It's all right. It'll probably come back to you in a few minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to. I got so many thoughts going on right now.
Your brain runs like your computer screen. There's like 8 different tabs open,
know.
and I know that there's really 8 to 10 different tabs open in your brain at all times.
Absolutely. It's terrible.
Mine's just like a little hamster that's really, really overworked and underpaid, and he's really tired.
Union break.
He needs a break.
He needs a union break.
There's only one of him. There's no union.
But so then once these brownie points are earned, what do you feel that this does for you? Like when I quote unquote earn brownie points, what do you feel that does for you towards me, or how it makes you want to act, or kind of along those lines? Let's say, how does it make you feel you want to act?
I mean, it definitely makes me want to reciprocate.
Right.
You know, I'm a big person that likes to do things for my partner in a relationship, but I definitely don't want it to be one-sided. So it just makes me want to be myself more. You know what I mean?
Open up.
Through the amount of brownie points that you've already earned up until this point, like it makes me want to do stuff like that for you, like fill up the gas tank and you know, run to the store in the middle of the night because you have a headache, or I mean whatever it is. It just makes me want to be the same person that you are to me.
Right.
That way we are on the same page, and there's not one person that's doing more than the other, and one's feeling underappreciated, or you know, the other one's feeling that they're doing too much. And I don't know, so it just wants it it's literally treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you being nice to me makes me want to be nice to you.
Especially if it's like somebody you're choosing to be in a relationship with and take things to a more serious level.
And I also feel like, why wouldn't you want to do these things for the person that you care about?
Right.
You know, if you're going to do a nice gesture for a random person on the street, why wouldn't you do the same thing for somebody that, you know, you share a bed with, essentially?
Right. Right. Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel like it brings out the more feminine side towards me. Like your feminine side towards me. It allows you to kind of just relax, the right word, or just be more comfortable, you know.
I mean, I
towards
guess
me.
if by more comfortable you mean it brings me closer to you,
Yeah.
then yeah, because I feel like with each gesture that you do, it draws me closer to you, and it gives me another reason of why I like you, and you
Yeah.
know what I love about you. You know, before, you know, in my past, people would be like, oh, like, what do you like about your relationship, or like, what do you love about this person? And it was always very like, oh, they take care of me. I don't know, I feel like it's always been very one-sided, and
Your
it was
relationship.
typically I was the selfish one, you
Oh,
know.
really? Yeah.
So I don't know. Now my brain is doing what
Same
yours
thing.
does, and I don't remember which conversation I was even trying to talk about. But
But
no,
that you
it
used to
draws
be-
me closer to you, and it just gives me one more reason of why I love you.
Yeah.
And you know, when people ask me why, that's what I was gonna say. When people ask me why, you know, I can tell them it's because, you know, you pick me up and drop me off for work, or you let me use your car when you're at work, and just like little things like that, you know. you going to the store for me when I didn't feel good
Right.
and stuff like that. Like it gives me actual things to tell people rather than either making stuff up or it just being very surface level stuff. And this may
Right.
seem like surface level stuff to some people, and like that's fine, but I feel like it does go deeper. And like, yeah, people joke about brownie points, like it's not a serious thing in a relationship, but I think if you really think about it, it is.
It absolutely is. And I think it's very important that, guys, me, for example, I used to kind of be a guy where I would do certain things to make girls like me, and then I knew in the long run it wasn't going to really pan out anyway. But I did it out of either being selfish or just wanting that connection. That I would start off being a certain guy, and then it would start to fade away, and I'd start being not that same person towards her, and then that would have obviously a negative effect on her feelings towards me. And then in the end, the relationship would end up falling apart, and I'd feel regretful for it. I think some of the I'm gonna say that the girls I feel like I should have ended up with, I always messed up, and the ones I shouldn't have been with, I seem to chase those. Um, Obviously, as I've gotten older, you kind of reset what's important, what's really valuable to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're in a relationship for guys, especially. It's, I guess, really just be yourself at the beginning and continue being yourself. Because the girl that likes you or falls in love with you falls in love with who you were starting out with her. I feel like women are very quick to analyze, understand guys. I don't know if I'm off on that a little bit.
What do you mean?
Like when you first start dating, women are more intuitive than men. I feel
Okay, yeah.
when women can see through bullshit a little bit better. I feel like they can.
Yeah, and I feel like that's because, they say women mature a little bit faster than
Right.
men, so it's like mentally we're like 2 years ahead of you.
Correct.
So you spewing or doing your bullshit, like we're not into it.
Right. Unless you're young and you're into the drama, some people
Some people
are into
will
the
put
drama.
up with it no matter how old they are. They're gonna
Right.
put up with the bullshit because what it comes down to is they don't feel like they're worthy of an actual healthy relationship.
Right.
That's
Which
why
an
like I hate to
interesting-
say it, but like women in abusive relationships, they don't leave because that's the only thing that they know.
That's what they think they're worth.
Yeah, they don't love themselves enough to think that somebody else could be capable of loving them.
Which is an important topic we should definitely discuss. Is you've got to love yourself. I feel like before you can love somebody else.
Definitely. I mean, to truly love somebody else, you definitely have to love yourself because, like I said, if you don't love yourself, you're never going to think that you're worthy of somebody else's love and affection. Right. If you can't look in the mirror and be okay with who you are and what you look like, and not even really what you look like, but like who you are as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. We were here the other night, took a little bit of mushrooms. I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror and, I got kind of close and it was weird. It wasn't like I was looking at my reflection like I normally do on a daily basis. It really felt like I saw myself as other people see me. And it really gave me that feeling of like, I think I'm starting to find out who I am in life. Because I was really lost for a long time.
Yeah.
So I feel like now I'm stepping into my 30s and I have this whole different outlook on like my life, relationships, family, friend relationships, and like everything that I was doing before is nothing that I want for my future. But like looking at myself in the mirror, like I can now say 100% that I, Brittany Nicole Lartategi, love myself 100%. And like that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
So like I think that's why I can accept your love is
Right.
because now I feel and I know that I'm worthy of it. You know, I'm not seeking attention. I'm not in this for the wrong reasons or thinking, you know, that I truly don't deserve this. So I'm not like self sabotaging and I'm not
Yeah.
doing things that I used to do because it's literally what it comes down to is you just have to be okay with who you are before
Yeah.
somebody else is going to be okay with who you are.
Yeah. Well said. So then what do you, so there was a couple of things I was thinking. What do you think there are certain behaviors that guys display that they think are brownie points, but they're actually really not?
Oh, that's right. You asked me this the other day and I said
Yeah.
I was going to think about it and I didn't think about it. I'm going to be straight up.
I'm gonna be straight
I'm going
up.
to be straight up. I did not
think
think about it at all.
So some of my things were sometimes guys are, you know, they try to be overly aggressive in public. You know, they try to be kind of the macho guy. I mean, obviously some women I'm sure into that. You know, so maybe it depends on the females. Maybe it really isn't. You know, maybe for one person the behavior is a turn off, but for another person it's a turn on.
Yeah, I mean, because like we said, like everyone's going to be different, you know, and I don't know. That's a hard question. I might have to come back to that one, just like you want to come back to the scale one. Um, as far as men being overly aggressive,
Like jerks. You know, there's this trend where guys think being a dick gets girls. You know, I mean, was there a phase in your life where you lean more towards the jerks?
I feel like the jerks I was into them because they were like emotionally unavailable. And I was like, okay, they're emotionally unavailable, but like maybe not with me.
Like you wanted to change them, or
Not even
you
necessarily
hope that?
change them like in a bad way or a good way, but just kind of be that person that like I don't know, made them stop being a jerk or like I don't know, like Disney princess shit.
Glass slipper type stuff.
Like I don't know, Disney lies, but I believed them for years.
But you mentioned you were kind of more selfish in your earlier relationship. So,
I mean, it went back and forth, you know. I've dated quite a bit. So I feel like there's definitely been both, you know, like I have been, um, you know, selfish in past relationships, and I've been in relationships where the other person was more selfish. Not
Yeah.
to say that I still wasn't selfish, but let's just say their selfish outweighed my selfish. You know, it always seemed like such a bigger deal that they did what they did as
Yeah.
opposed to me doing what I did. But then again, that's very alcoholic thinking, you know, and double standards. You can do this, but
right.
I can't, or I can do this, but you can't, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, you know. But as far as like being attracted to the jerk per se, I like, well, and like, it depends on what your definition of a jerk is.
Right, because you mentioned to me that you love my demeanor in public and how I am, like with other guys.
I think
and
it's like
people.
the sarcasm and like you don't try and hide who you are with your guy friends when I'm around.
And what? Interesting.
Some guys like on certain topics of conversations with your guy friends, they feel like they can't say what they want to say because their girlfriend or the person that they like is sitting right next to them.
Right.
So they give the very like what they think the girl wants to hear answer. You know, like when Gotti said, "Hey, do you want to go to the strip club?"
Right.
Most guys would have been like, "Oh no, I'm good. Like my girl's here, or she probably won't want to go." Whereas you just turned around, looked at me, and said, "Want to go to the strip club?"
Right.
Like, yeah, I still could have said no.
Correct.
You can go.
Right. Absolutely.
Or no, I just want to go home and just be like together with you, or say no in front of my face and then go outside with him and be like, man, I wish I could go, but
Yeah.
I gotta say no and make it look like I don't want to go because Brittany's here.
So that's kind of like a brownie point to you. That's along the lines of me
Well,
behaving that way is
I just like that you're a genuine person no matter the circumstance and no matter who you're in front of.
right.
Whether it's people we know, don't know, just met, you're just an all-around genuine person, and it's not like you're trying to hide one part of yourself from me.
Right.
So, and it goes back to like I was saying before, as far as like being a jerk. Like some people think that sarcastic people are jerks.
True.
So, but like I don't. I love sarcasm.
Right.
So if I'm single and there's a single guy at the bar and he's flirting sarcastically and being like a sarcastic asshole per se, like I like that because I'm gonna dish it right back.
Sure.
So that means to me that you can take being like joked around with and being like made fun of,
right,
or whatever you want to call it, but that's just flirting in my eyes.
Sure.
Like
picking a little bit here and there.
I mean, it's healthy.
Absolutely.
We literally read an article the other day that said if you like, what's the term that they use on Comedy Central? Roast. If you roast your partner, it's a sign of a healthy relationship. It shows that you can joke around and it's not such a serious thing all the time.
Which is a good thing to have, I feel like, in relationships. You got to be able to obviously laugh and pick at each other. I mean, we even do it when we do it about last night we were going through the Taco Bell line and I'd bought some earlier. I'm like, no, dinner's on you, bitch. And she's like, okay. I still threw in, obviously. I can't. I just say it jokingly. I'm still gonna.
We split the tabs most of the time.
Yeah,
we're
most of the time we're
very equal here.
Try to keep everything down the middle.
But we don't keep tabs.
No, if you're keeping the whole keeping.
You don't need to penny for penny each other.
You're
that's
pennying
just
each other.
retarded.
That's.
You should probably be paying separate at that point if you want to go penny for penny.
And is it really worth the relationship, in my opinion, at that point?
Excuse me. Last little bit of that cough I got going on.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's been a bad cough for a while.
It's just really bad in the morning.
But yeah, so we've pretty much touched on Brownie Points and a couple other things.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anything, that we missed. I'm taking a look here at what we got, and I'm pretty sure we got most of the material that we covered.
Yeah, and I think that's a good start here at Hakuna Makava.
One of our favorite places, located right here in West Palm Beach.
West Palm, you got to come out to this place.
What's our time at, actually?
What's our what?
What's the time at right now? Is that 40? I don't have my glasses on.
44 minutes.
Okay.
That's good.
We didn't do too bad, guys.
No, we did okay. I like that. And obviously,
I gotta figure out when I would turn here to talk to them, what camera am I? It's up here, isn't it? It's that
Right.
one. Definitely that one.
But obviously, I hope a lot of people will start over time commenting and giving us things to bring to the next show, and
yeah,
the guests will be fun.
We did this as a trial run, and I'm actually pretty happy with how the conversation went. So I think instead of not posting it, I think we should just roll with it.
Yeah, it's our first video.
People can watch us grow and get more comfortable with how the setup is.
Mics,
and
yeah, absolutely. We won't stumble.
You'll go on this adventure with us.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's like we said at the beginning. This is something to I feel like grow with others in their relationships too, because I don't know. At the end of the day, I feel like everybody deserves to have somebody if they want that person. Um, a lot of people, I think, maybe are like nervous or scared, especially guys, to learn how to have a healthy relationship because it's kind of looked down upon in some instances. I mean, not everywhere. There's a lot of good guys that feel healthy relationships are important, but even they can struggle. There's times I struggle with. I mean, I've had a history with relationships that I know how I feel towards you, so it's causing me a little bit. I don't want to say anxiety, but I just get bleeped out.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, babe. But I kind of got off topic there a little bit.
No, I'm just trying to look up the email to tell them if they want to email us because I forgot what it is.
Did you create one?
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did with the YouTube because I just created a new YouTube account, so I just created us an email.
I like
So
it.
if you don't want to comment below, you can feel free to send us an email to I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. It's called wydypodcast@gmail.com. So would you date you abbreviated podcast.com or gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
It's late. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
I don't either. So I think we'll wrap this one up. Any last words?
I just think healthy relationships are key, and like you said, this is meant for us to learn about each other more and grow closer and hopefully help other people have the same conversations that we have, so people have a chance at having what I feel like we have at this point.
Yeah.
Even though it's still early, and I'm not saying we're going to be together forever or whatever, but I think that by doing this, we have a really good chance, and I feel like other people might have the same outcome.
Absolutely. And I think just like we've said, it's something to grow with others. And live from Hakuna Makava,
Shell?
Shell.
We're
going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Leave some comments.
Thanks for tuning
We
in.
want your feedback. What you think we can do, what you want to talk about. If we were terrible, you're growing with us.
And I guess at this point, just like and subscribe
Absolutely.
to our channel. Like we've said before, we really encourage interaction from our viewers and our followers.
We absolutely, yes.
So we would love for you guys to let us know what you want us to talk about. Thoughts on what we have already talked about and what you think about Brownie Points. We have
Brownie
some
Points.
super exciting upcoming
interview. You could touch on that real quick if you want to.
I don't want to give too much information away.
No, this will be interesting.
But we definitely met someone tonight at Hakuna. That we are very interested in bringing on to speak to you guys on a certain topic. I'm not going to name the topic because I want to wait.
Okay. You do whatever
share,
you feel you want
the
to.
exciting info.
Yeah.
When we know more, but just know that we do have a lot planned as far as topics go, interviews go, and we're super excited.
And sorry to interrupt, a lot of it too is if there's a topic that our viewers want to, you guys want us to talk about, that's definitely part of it too. I want to hear feedback, and whatever topics you guys want to talk about, we should talk about. That'd be a fun part of the show.
For sure. And like I've said before, I think on our last episode, if you're in West Palm and you want to be on our show,
absolutely,
let us know.
Let us know.
Follow us on Instagram at WYDY Podcast. YouTube, obviously. Would You Date You? And I think that's it. So